We're back. Next episode. I told you it wouldn't be long. Couple minutes.
I wasn't worried.
The steaks are getting room temperature. Yo, you got some good steaks there, bro. You got some USDA prime cuts.
I know. I almost told the guy to forget it when he showed me the price.
I know. Why'd you buy them? I don't even buy prime cuts.
I had to get the AED out.
Damn.
Get revived when I collapsed on the floor there.
Shit.
I was like,
Crazy.
what is it?
What?
Prime cut? What?
Yeah, USDA prime.
I don't know. Isn't that what it always is?
No,
What do you get?
not prime.
I don't know. The difference?
How much was it a pound?
$24?
Yeah, mine are 16.
No. I mean, I don't know which ribeyes you like. Those are the ones I got the last time.
Wow.
Fucking tariffs, man.
Not the tariffs. Although I don't know the difference between prime and just choice. I don't know what the fuck the difference
Maybe it's
is.
a little bit of the marbleization. I don't know.
It's true, but do you know how you get the marbleization? Marbleization is really not subcutaneous. What's the other one? The other fat. There's two fats. There's subcutaneous fat, which is under the skin, and then there's, why can't I think of it?
I don't know, man.
Visceral fat
That's the one that's around the organs?
around the organs and in the muscle. So in order to get a really good cut of beef,
That explains me.
you need to get visceral fat. You need to get fat in the muscle,
That's what
which is
I have a lot of subcutaneous or contemporaneous or whatever.
subcutaneous.
Yeah, that came out of your contemporaneous.
So
So what?
s-
I don't know the difference, bro. I was gonna
Alright.
get like some New York
But-
strips, but I
but-
wanted to stick with the ribeye because you're the ribeye king.
so basically, if you had visceral fat as a human, you'd be sick.
I know. I feel
And
sick.
If you have visceral fat as a cow, technically it's a sicker cow, but the meat tastes better because of all the visceral fat. So that's how that goes. So when you buy wagyu beef,
Wagyu.
you're getting one sick fucking fat ass cow is what you're getting.
Nice.
Yeah, but
And tasty.
as long as it's grass fed, I don't think you can get a grass fed wagyu beef because if they eat grass, I don't think they're going to get visceral fat.
Fat enough.
Yeah.
All right.
So you got to feed them grain and corn and all shit that they wouldn't normally eat.
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Apparently.
What
You-
do I know?
You know enough.
I think I know enough.
I was just educated on marbleization
Yes, marbleization.
of my meat I should be looking for.
And the ribeye gives you a lot of marbleization. Gives you some nice, tasty.
Well, I didn't know what you
fat.
wanted. And I didn't know you were having all these guests. So
I didn't know either.
anywho, back to the show.
Okay. So,
Carnivore.
I remember when Joe Biden was president and he was doing all his shenanigans
Right.
that we didn't agree with,
Right.
and you name it, opening the border, shutting down pipelines,
Right.
putting mandates on electric vehicles.
Yeah, they weren't worried about those jobs.
No, but I didn't see any Republicans out there, excuse me,
Right.
torching
Right.
cars and I didn't see no rioting. I didn't see any vandalism.
Or the Bud Light thing, where we
Right.
we stood in solidarity and was like, we're not buying Bud Light,
Yeah.
we're not buying Anheuser-Busch, and they took a fucking big ass hit.
Which is everybody's right.
But we didn't go in and smash all the cases of
Bud Light and vandalize the trucks and
right.
punch a guy drinking a Bud Light in the face.
What are you, some kind of fiend?
It's like, what's wrong with you people? It's freedom of choice, and that's what makes this country great. And
Right.
if you don't want to buy a Tesla, don't buy one. But God, man, don't go out there and harass people who own them. Don't be writing swastikas on the sides of their cars.
Right.
Don't be riding your fucking four-wheeler into the side of somebody's car. Don't be punching women in the face who
Right.
drive
That
Teslas.
poor lady.
Don't torch
Tesla.
charging stations and dealerships What is wrong with you? And why aren't the Democrats out there screaming from the rooftops to stop this nonsense?
Well, why would they? They didn't do it once at all during 2020, the summer of love. They didn't do it then because they condone it. They almost.
I know, but this exposes them big time. And I don't know why the average liberal, who is a human being, who has to live in this country, doesn't look at that and go, "That's not right."
Right.
What are you thinking? I don't get it. I just don't get it. And
I don't even get
to villainize and demonize one man that much that you'll justify violence against another human being is disgraceful.
But
and quite frankly, you should be deported.
Isn't that a bit of I mean, wouldn't that be like a hate crime? Writing swastikas on people's cars? Like,
yeah.
Shouldn't that? I mean, I'm just asking because I feel as though if I were to do it, I mean, you do it on a church, it's a hate crime. You do it on a synagogue, it's a hate crime.
Yeah.
You do it anywhere else on a school, it's a hate crime. Like, how come if I damage your property, why is that? I mean, whether I'm Jewish or not, why isn't that a hate crime? It's a swastika. If it means so much and it's so damaging to everybody's personal feelings, then it should be a hate crime for everybody. Like, add that in there.
There's such a double standard.
And these people do deserve, like, I know the one guy's like, well, why am I getting 20? Because you fucking destroyed people's property.
Because you're a criminal.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And again, it's another thing. Like, I mean, in this day and age, if you really want to, first off, if they're still doing it now, knowing that there's cameras and it's recording at all times, you're a moron. Second of all, all it takes is like a camera in the parking lot or somebody, a camera from a Ring camera or a surveillance camera on a store. They're going to get your picture. They're going to get it somehow. And your license plate or recognize your car. Like, you're like the one guy keyed the car and then fucking went into Crunch Fitness to get a workout. And the guy comes out and he's like, yo, did you do this to my car? No, it wasn't me. I'm like, what are you talking about? I have a I don't even know if it's like Ring camera where the guy's like, oh, well, here, let me bring it right up. Like, this wasn't you 15, 20 minutes ago?
Yeah.
But you're going to be, especially in this day and age with the internet, you're going to be found. Like, it's not that hard. Like, I think the one guy they tracked down through, like, he was whatever business, he like runs his own business and something else, and he drew the swastika on, and the guy like confronted him, and he's like, dude, your life is over because you don't even know why. You don't even know why you're so angry. It's just, it doesn't even make sense anymore.
I know. It blows me away. I just don't understand it. But that's where we're at, and that's the shame of it all. It really is. It's a damn shame. Did you
But even like with the Joe Biden, like if Trump, listen, is there things that Trump's done so far that I question? Yeah. But his majority of what I agree with what he's doing. You know what I mean?
What do you question?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, some of the people that he's put into place. This one guy, that I guess he just won, the guy that won in I think it was Florida, where he's like a big, I'm a Zion, this and that. He's a big like advocate for Jewish first or Israel first stuff. Like he's all pushing that. I just think some of and I know Trump's just cashing checks, but some of the endorsements, that's all. But other than that, I'm cool with whatever else he's doing. I just think some of the minute things of who he's endorsing and some of the people he put into places, I question.
Yeah. Well, on another topic, the student Austin, I can't think of his last name, that got stabbed in the chest, stabbed in the heart, died in his twin brother's arms.
Yeah.
I had no idea that the kid that killed him was black.
Right.
And it doesn't matter.
Right.
But the double standard is if it was the other way around, this would have been a hate crime.
Right.
That kid's picture would have been posted all over. I haven't seen one picture of the kid that did it.
I think it's Metcalf. Austin Metcalf, I think it is.
That doesn't sound right. Look that up. That's why we have Google. But
no, I know what you're saying.
It's just a double standard. I mean, the kid's a criminal. I mean, what are you going to attract me with a knife for?
Yeah, Austin Metcalf.
Okay. All right, you're right. And I don't understand why.
Well, it was probably, we were talking about this earlier. It was probably just one of them little pocket utility knives that everybody pretty much carries around.
Still,
you are in Texas, you never know when you might need to cut a rope.
I know, but there's no.
And we don't know the extent of the altercation. Like, I heard it was like, oh, bro, you can't sit here. This isn't your section. Like, was it that modest to where the guy's like snaps and fucking stabs him?
Probably not.
You know what I mean? Like,
there was probably some
provocations. Provocateurs.
It was probably some provocation.
It was probably more
provocation. That's it.
It was probably more than just, hey man, this isn't your spot. You got to go sit over there. Which I guess the kid got offended about. Like, what do you mean? I'm black and I can't sit here. Like,
wow, you're speculating now. You're speculating.
Am I?
Yeah, you're speculating.
You're not going to tell me where to sit.
But I think the problem is we don't teach kids conflict resolution. I mean, I get standing up for yourself,
right?
But whatever happened to walking away, or whatever happened to just punching somebody? Now everything is a threat to your life, and now you just got to kill somebody.
No, but that's this.
I mean, when I grew up, we just either ran or we if we were outnumbered, we tried to get out of there. But
fisticuffs.
Yeah, I remember I got in a fight. I lived in a bit of a racial neighborhood, in Bristol, and I guess in 9th grade I was kind of taught big,
and
lanky, and I was on the football team and.
You met the guys up by the fountain and Pony Boy didn't make it?
No. That's not what happened. But I was walking home one day.
Yeah.
And a group of kids.
Gentlemen.
Yeah. Surrounded me. And they wanted me to fight the one black kid.
Right.
And I didn't want to fight him. Quite frankly, I was a little scared.
Right.
So I knew that if I didn't fight him, I was going to get my ass beat by all of them.
Right.
And if I beat him, I was going to get my ass beat by all of them.
Right.
So to me, there was only one way out, and that was take a shot and go down. So that's exactly what I did. I took a punch.
Yeah.
I went down. They all celebrated, patted the kid on the back, and left me laying there.
Yeah.
And I was like, whew, I dodged that bullet.
Right.
But that's how I dealt with things. I didn't go back and kill them all. You know what I mean? I took my lumps and I moved on. And they were happy with, not killing me. You know what I mean?
Right.
They were happy with seeing their friend be successful to beat up the big white dude.
Yeah.
And everything was fine. And that just doesn't happen anymore. And I remember getting in altercations and scuffs and, even the people around you, if you put somebody on the ground, they didn't let you kick him in the face.
Right.
They would all pull him off.
Like,
that's enough.
Exactly.
None of that shit happens anymore.
There was at least some kind of decorum.
Decorum, yeah. There was
amongst the
there was a code.
The groups.
Yeah, there was a code. Nobody wanted to kill anybody.
Well, I think all that just is. I mean, the knives, like I said, I'm sure the kid wasn't walking around with like a big Rambo knife. It was probably just like a little 4-inch blade that he flipped up.
Well, you don't know.
No, I don't know, but I'm saying it's probably more likely to be that than the guy's just walking around with a hunting knife.
Probably true, but
Texas,
yeah, and I maybe he was
like, you can get those knives at like Lowe's. You know what I mean? Like Cobalt makes them.
He could have been scared. I mean, he could have been thinking he was defending himself. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't know like the whole actions that were happening on the bleachers.
Right, but my point about
it doesn't need to come to that.
Right. It doesn't need to come to that. We don't teach kids conflict resolution, but we also, if the situation had been reversed,
I know.
It would have been a completely different story.
Right.
And that's the problem I have with it.
A white teenager stabbed a black teenager. Yeah. It would be, let's march in the streets for the kid.
Right. It'd be all over the news. Justice for whoever.
It's the same thing with the
they'd
school
be torching
shooters.
the cities.
Shooters. When it's not like you're deranged white dude and it's a transgender white
it goes silent.
Girl that is pretending to be a boy, it doesn't matter because it doesn't fit their narrative. So it's the same thing. Like,
this is the kind of shit we need to stop. We got to put an end to this. And they're not willing to. For some reason. I don't know.
No, and I feel bad for the parents on both sides because your son
they both lost their kid that day.
Yeah, in a
stupid
in a moment of where like, damn, I wish I didn't do that. Your life is ruined now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's just
sad for all of them. Sad for all of them. So we're still dealing with this. Donald Trump signed the executive orders to keep men out of women's sports.
Right.
And we're still dealing with this nonsense.
Right.
And I don't know when this is going to end, but this has got to end.
I think just people are like grandfathered in.
Oh, God.
But I agree with you.
It's got to end. I mean, what happened to protecting women? Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to women's rights? It's all down the toilet for a guy who wants to be a woman.
Right.
For a guy who wants to be something he cannot be, no matter how hard he tries.
No.
And everybody around him pretends that he's a woman, and now he thinks he can do whatever a woman can do. And he can't. I seen a TikTok video. This girl was working out.
Mm-hmm.
She was doing the leg extension at Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
And she had her period.
Okay.
Guys can't do that.
No.
It's not going to happen. I don't care what you cut off, what
you
you sew on.
What the hell is your algorithm showing you?
I don't know. I thought it was funny, but
it probably was, but I don't know.
It just popped up, so I checked it out.
Right.
So, but I feel bad for women who have to deal with this nonsense.
Well, it's not enough. And again, you don't see the girls transitioning that wants to be boys competing in boys sports because
they can't compete.
Right. So I don't understand where I just don't even understand why. I mean, I know why it's even why you would even argue for it. Yes, it's not a girl, it's not a woman. I don't care how long they've been transitioned. If they're in high school or college, it's only within the last 4 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you can't transition. That's the thing.
Well, I'm just saying, when you decided to become a lady.
You can't.
Whatever.
I know.
All right. Well,
but you can't, but that's giving it, you're giving it.
I'm just saying, if you're in college, the colleges need to just be like, yeah, it's over. It's enough. The high schools need to be like, it's over. It's enough.
Remember back in the, you probably don't remember, but I remember it was one Olympics where they were drug testing the female weightlifters,
mm-hmm.
and they were gender testing them too,
right,
to make sure that they weren't men, because the Russian women were beasts,
yeah,
and they were just beating the crap out of everybody, but they were beasts. But, you weren't allowed to be a man and compete in women's sports, and that's just the way it should be.
Yeah, if you were, taking too much testosterone.
Yeah, protect the women. That's all I'm asking. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, it's
already... If you're a guy, if you want to have a so-called transgender division, then fucking start your own league.
Well, there's not even enough. That's the problem. There's not even enough of them to do it. But even if there were, it doesn't, But, with these girls, they're fighting so hard for... scholarships to begin with to get into college. You know what I mean? You've gone through, softball, swimming, whatever, volleyball.
It's not like they haven't worked hard.
That's what I'm saying. You've worked hard, and then this guy who was a high school volleyball player wants to be a girl now and is gonna get a scholarship to go to this school. You're losing out there. You're losing out money to a guy that couldn't make it on the boys team.
Right.
So. Like you're saying, we're about protecting women's rights, but not in this case.
Right.
We
have to protect the men for some reason.
Yeah, you're protecting men that want to be women.
You're protecting men with mental issues.
Well, yeah, there's that.
What you need to do is get these poor people some help.
Yeah,
But if you're of age and if you want to pretend, go ahead. I don't care. Just leave the women alone and stay out of locker rooms too.
Yeah,
and stay out of the women's bathroom.
But that's what I'm saying. Why? It's some of these things they're fighting for. It's and it's just to do it because the orange guy did it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm against that because of Trump. Well, why? Well, because like, show me a valid argument of why
A man should be playing
a 22-year-old boy is playing women's volleyball in college. Like, show me how that makes sense.
Yeah, and why is he in their locker room getting undressed?
Even if he's not, just why is he on the team? And how does that make the girls that are on the team are probably like, all right, well, nobody's going to take us serious. Like,
well, I blame. You know who I blame? I hate to say it, but I blame the women themselves.
well, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Walk out.
Yeah.
Everybody should walk out.
Well, there was I think it was like the nationals for fencing.
Yeah,
she
I
took
saw that one.
she took a knee.
And walked out. Good for her.
Well, they expelled her. They expelled her from the that match and then the whole rest of the tournament.
Well,
like,
that's disgraceful.
right.
But everybody should have.
Because it's one person.
They should.
So you got rid of everybody. Yeah,
Well,
well, you know what? Everybody, all the other young girls should have been like, you know what? I stand with this girl.
right.
Let's get out of here. All the parents should have been like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get out of here.
Right.
And then you would have made that stand at that point, and the group of people that are running the show would have been like, what did we do?
Yeah.
What
Right.
did we just do?
We're making it way too easy for them.
Yeah, because only one person did it, and if everybody like even with the Leah Thomas thing, like when he was swimming at Penn, the other nobody even knew
William
that,
Thomas.
yeah, but nobody even knew that was a boy until
Really?
no, because no, it didn't get out. You weren't allowed to talk about it.
Nobody looked at him.
No, no. Riley Gaines talked about it on a podcast. She was saying that
I know, but who didn't know looking at him that's not a
because
girl?
there wasn't videos because it was like Penn was never good. Their team wasn't. Their team was trash until that year. So everybody's like, well, who's this girl? Like they just saw her on the. I'm sure there had to be video somewhere, but if you're not really paying attention, you're just seeing this person who's like winning this tournament or whatever.
The bulge didn't give it away.
This meat, yeah, the rudder. So, but even like the women on the Penn team should have been like, yeah, you know what? We're not doing this. Right. This is a joke. This is like he's showering in the female locker room.
Is that who he swam for, Penn?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
but you know, of course, it's some shitty ass Ivy League that's like, oh, we'll take you.
We want to win now. Yeah, that's their thing. And I don't know how anybody just
and Riley Gaines she even beat him, and they said, well, we have to give it to him because it will look right because he's the first. And she's like, what?
Yeah,
that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, well. It doesn't make sense, and that's where we're at. So, I think something needs to get done. I hope, hopefully, people wake up.
Like, you remember Upper Moreland, they didn't have a lacrosse team for the longest time, and or boys lacrosse team, and you had to wear the girls and field hockey. I don't know why boys would want to play field hockey, but they did, and you had to wear the skirt, but you had to wear like shorts underneath. You know, like the field hockey uniform.
Yeah,
like that's what they had to wear it.
Yeah, guys playing girls field hockey.
Yeah, I don't know why. It wasn't because they just wanted to play field hockey. I guess because
guys play field hockey.
I don't know if they do. I don't know.
Is there a guys field hockey team?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But they wanted to play on the team, I guess, because maybe they wanted to play a spring sport. Maybe they didn't have lacrosse yet, but they would play field hockey instead of like whatever baseball or track and field. And they were only allowed to play certain positions because you're smacking that fucking ball hard as hell.
Yeah, you hurt somebody.
But like
that's crazy.
But like, you know, how come the soccer, like women's soccer, the national team doesn't let a transgender on their team yet? How come that hasn't happened?
Transgender.
Well, whatever.
A guy?
Yeah. How come the women's national hockey team hasn't allowed a guy?
I don't know, because they're smart.
Well, I mean, you have all these advocates for it, but yet no. Well, we don't want you because it would look ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Where's the 6'10" or 6'10" power forward that wants to go play in the WNBA? I might watch that.
Would you?
Maybe just to watch him run around with a wig with his.
Well, that's what they're hoping.
I will definitely bring some viewers
with his breast implants and his his shorts that hide his package.
Hopefully he tucks it good.
Tucks.
Duct tape. Tuck.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't understand why. But it's like you're saying, like you're advocating for the government to keep on taking our money and spending it wastefully. Okay, that makes sense. You're advocating for men to play in women's sports. Why? That makes sense. Like it's just your arguments are nonsensical, and it doesn't even stand. Like you have no reasoning.
Yeah.
What did you just say?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just said yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got.
That's it.
That's it. You got something?
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about eating a prime cut
USDA beef.
USDA prime beef ribeye steak cooked in beef tallow on my blacktop.
Blacktop?
Blackstone blacktop. Blackstone.
Flat top.
Whatever, man. Whatever. All right.
What do you think about this Bernie Sanders and AOC running around doing these events?
I don't think nothing of it.
You don't think nothing of it?
No, I don't really care about them too.
Who do you see as a threat in 2028?
As a presidential candidate?
Yeah, right now.
From the Democrat side?
Yeah, from their side.
Nobody.
Nobody. I would happen to agree with you.
Who do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. I don't really think that. I mean, I don't really think they have any options. I mean,
I think their primary is going to be funny.
Yeah, I don't
It's
see.
going to be fun to watch.
I don't see who's the strong. I mean, everybody's been exposed for the hypocrites that they are.
That don't matter.
No, I know. I'm just like who's backing, and I just hope that we have a. I don't know if it's going to be Vance or whatever, but I guess we'll see.
What's all this talk about Trump for a third term? Is that all just nonsense?
No, yeah, it's just it's. Oh, there's a loophole and blah blah blah. But like one person brought it up in some stupid article, and now it's like, oh, see, he wants to be an authoritarian dictator and won't leave. Blah, 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 blah. So it's just like they have all this stuff that they just want to talk about to keep.
Who was it FDR that did 3 terms?
I don't know.
I think it was a Democrat president. I think it was FDR. He did.
It was like wartime powers or something like that. Maybe
I don't know what it was, but the way we're going, we might be in one.
Well, I don't know about that, but
well, I hope not. But
I'm curious, like, cause I see like, oh, Bernie and AOC, and like, first off, she's an idiot, and his spiel of health, Medicare for all, and fucking like socialism stuff, and tax to
people like that shit.
Tax to millionaires and billionaires. Yeah, but you know what?
But not me.
Enough people don't really. Well, yeah, enough people really don't like it because you saw that 78 million people just voted for Trump because they're tired of the status quo of these Congress people. Like they gotta go.
Well, how many voted for Kamala?
I don't even know. Look, and again, I said this the last time.
60-some million.
Where's Kamala at? Where's she go? Where's Joe? They're not even the face of the party anymore.
I think they're going to rebrand her, bring her back.
Well, I heard
you're going to see her on the debate stage.
No, I heard she's trying to run for governor of California.
Well, then you're going to see Newsom as their guy.
Yeah, but he's a scumbag, and
I know he is, but people love him.
They love him out there,
yeah.
But the country doesn't love him. They know he's a fucking dirtbag with his slick back hair.
We'll see.
He's a built politician. That's all he is.
I know.
Like bring it. Like I don't know.
He's destroyed California, but no one seems to care. I don't get it.
Exactly.
I don't get it, man.
I don't know.
All
right, man.
Let's go.
Hit the links.
Hit them.
Get yourself something nice. This summer's coming, so you better start shaping up.
I am. Look.
Get your protein, your pre-workouts, Red Barners.
My protein's up on the grill.
Some nice swag. There you go. Yeah, well, you know what? Maybe you just want a little quick...
Make beef great again.
Maybe you just want to put some protein powder, extra protein on your beef.
That sounds gross.
You get some maple syrup or something. Some maple syrup protein powder.
Nah, I'm good.
Official Patriot gear, like this sweet-ass hoodie I'm wearing.
That is sweet.
I know. It's nice and warm and comfy up here in the mountains, even though it's beginning of April. That's 10% off. Link is in the bio. Reaper Apparel Company, 15% off.
Tariffs hasn't affected them yet.
Not yet. Maybe
It's made in America, though, right?
maybe the
Yeah, well, that's why.
maybe the cotton blend hoodies that come out of
It looks warm.
Indonesia. Nah, this is America. These guys are out of Utah. Utah.
Utah. Okay. Hence the buffalo on your hat.
Nah, that's somebody else.
Oh. Okay.
That's the Andy Frisella freedom gear.
Okay.
Real American freedom gear.
Okay. Sounds good.
My first form.
All right, man.
It's great.
Yeah, it's good seeing you again.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, glad to have you
We're
back.
gonna keep this going on a regular schedule.
Yeah?
So be on the lookout.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
And
I'm in.
we're always, the Instagrams are always running, so you can always find good information on days. And that's the Orange Man Pod. Mine is the Orange Man Podcast too. And thinking of that, our account that got shut down in 2020, I can post on there again. Not that I have, but I can.
Really? Which account was that?
The original Orange Man
Really? on what?
on Instagram.
Oh, no shit.
That's right.
All right. All right, everybody.
Check it out.
Catch you on the next one. Ouch. Ouchies.
So long, gay boys.